Trump has already recorded his debate night counter-programming interview with Tucker Carlson, sources say. Page 11. So sources say he's already recorded his interview with Tucker Carlson. Where's that one? Okay. So former President Donald Trump strategically recorded an interview with the ex-Fox News host Tucker Carlson, earmarked as counter-programming for the forthcoming GOP presidential debate. He has chosen to abstain from Trump's aim to skip the debate while engaging in an alternative discourse, as he will be at his club in Bedminster, Jersey, the night of the debate. According to Trump's senior campaign advisor, Jason Miller, Trump's confidence in his popularity and accomplishments was evident in a Truth Social post last Thursday, where he justified his absence by stating, "People know my record, one of the best ever, so why would I debate? I'm your man, make America great again." And another story comes up from WSJ. Trump holds a 23-point lead over DeSantis in Iowa. The Iowa poll highlighted that Trump's commanding 23-point lead over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the Republican presidential nominating contest, with 42% of the likely caucus goers favors Trump and 19% supporting DeSantis. So thoughts on him not doing the debate? I have a different kind of a thought on him not doing the debate.
But like Pat, in Olympics, when you qualify for the Olympics or like a team makes it to the play, you bench your star players. You don't want them to get hurt. Why would you go in there and go through all this when you're already number one? I think it's smart. I think it's tactical. And you know, why go out there and waste all your ammunition when you're already in first place? You know what I mean? I think him going up there and messing up would hurt him in the eyes of the people, and like he doesn't want to waste his time. I think this is actually a good move.
It's kind of funny, you know, we get into the playoffs in professional sports and the best teams get a bye week. Yeah. And I think what he's just saying here, hey, I'm going to take the bye week and let these people go through the preliminary playoffs on their own, which is effectively what's happening here. There's a side of me that wants to see him go out and clear the decks and be the man that he is and to lay it on the line and clear the decks. There's a part of me that wants to do that. But there's another part of me that understands he's like, look, this is the preliminary part of the playoffs here. I'm taking a bye week.
Yeah, I fully agree with the bye week situation. He's in first place. He deserves to, you know, sit this first debate out. I actually don't think this debate would actually help him too much in the polls. I think if he did show up, you would have knives out from Mike Pence, Chris Christie, DeSantis for sure. The list goes on. And if you take some friendly fire, let's say, it would not be exactly a good look for Trump on that regard. I think he's almost a shoo-in to be the candidate for the Republican nomination. I think this would not help him. I think he's making a good decision by sitting this out. He's going to go get a ton of eyeballs on Tucker and do that thing. By the way, also shout out to Jason Miller, our buddy, kind of holding down the fort in Trump camp. I like that guy a lot, so I'll go with that.
And Pat, where's the Twitter? Is the Tucker thing going to be on Twitter? Where's that going to be?
Yeah, he's going to post it on Twitter. All of Tucker's stuff is on Twitter.
Gotcha.
Tucker's show is on Twitter.
How many numbers you think, if you had to guess, how many numbers are going to watch?
Easily 100 million plus, because Musk is going to retweet it. Easily 100 million plus.
Wow.
Pat, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a good move that Trump is not going to this debate? What do you think?
I think timing-wise is like all this. Only reason I would say it makes sense for him to sit it out is timing-wise, because they're trying to go arrest him, do all of that stuff now. Okay, so he's not going to have enough time to see reactions. He's a counterpuncher, so he kind of wants to see what the market's going to say. He doesn't like surprises. Not that he's not going to do bad with surprises. They're going to try to surprise him with a lot of different things. He'll come out attacking. So go through each. Let's just say he was on the debate stage. Let's play it. Okay, go through each one of them. He will put Mike in his place within seconds. Mike will be irrelevant. He's the only guy in the last 7 months since January whose Twitter following has decreased.
You're talking about Pence, right?
Pence is the only guy whose Twitter following has decreased.
The fly on his head has more followers, I heard. The fly that was on the last time.
So what is he going to do to him? Go to the next person. Chris Christie. Chris Christie's going to say a couple things. Chris Christie's probably going to get under Trump's skin, and he'll piss him off a little bit. So he's probably doesn't want to deal with Chris Christie. That's probably the most annoying one.
Yeah, he's the one that helped him prepare for the debate.
Yeah,
Chris Christie.
He's not, he knows what he's doing.
So Chris Christie's going to probably be the annoying one, but still,
he would get a
Trump's going to get the comeback on him. And then who else you got outside? Tim Scott. Tim Scott is nice. Nothing's going to happen with Tim Scott. DeSantis, he's going to go after DeSantis. Vivek's not going to do anything at him.
No.
And then, am I missing somebody? I feel like I'm missing
Tim
somebody.
Scott, Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley, whatever, Vanilla. Suarez, I don't know if he's going to be in it. I think he's going to be.
Love to see him, though.
Yeah, would love to see him. He's hit the numbers.
Asa Hutchinson, and then also
no
you have
question
the
other guy, which
the governor of North Dakota.
What is the guy's name?
That's
bottom
the problem
left.
if you don't know his name.
So okay. So let's transition into the debate. So
Branford.
give predictions. What do you think is going to happen with the debate? Who do you think is going to come out? Who do you think is going to be like? If you're just looking at this right now, give your 1, 2, 3, 4. Give who's going to come out surprising with the plus minus. Meaning, this person's going to have a plus. That person's going to have a minus. This person's going to stay neutral. And XYZ is going to have the biggest plus. How would you rate it?
Wow. Okay, I think Vivek, number one, is going to be the star. What we've seen.
Biggest plus you're
I think
thinking.
the biggest plus is going to be Vivek. He's just, from being on our town hall, this guy is everywhere, and I've listened to as much content as I can. He is an encyclopedia of knowledge and his attitude and his he's just a G. I think he's going to go, he'll be number one. Wow, I think Tim Scott, number two. I love his attitude. He doesn't give a damn. He just tells it how it is. I don't know, dude. 3. I would say, Chris Christie. I put Chris Christie because he has a big attitude.
3?
I would put him at 3 because I don't think DeSantis is going to have that fire. I haven't seen anything from DeSantis. The only time I've seen DeSantis with that little attitude is when he's trying to act like Trump with the media during COVID. I put Tim Scott. I put Christie. Then I put DeSantis. I think it'll be later on in the debate, so try to get a little bit.
Rob, why don't you run a poll? How many names can you put on the poll just to see what the audience is going to say? Is it 4 or can you do 5, 6? Let me take a look. See, tell me if it's more than 4, then I'll give you the names.
So Pat, Vivek, Scott, Christie, DeSantis,
Adam, what do you
Haley.
think?
I put Haley.
So
4, Pat.
We can do 4. Well,
Then if it's 4, do Vivek, do DeSantis, do Tim Scott. You want to do Christie or Pence?
I think Christie.
I think you put Pence for sure.
He's not going to be. He's 4.
And then Christie, not Tim Scott.
Well,
that's my opinion.
you think so?
Okay, why don't you do Tim Scott, Chris Christie, Vivek, and DeSantis? But go ahead.
Damn, Pence did. Former VP can't even make the list.
He's trash.
Number 1, I think Vivek is an absolute superstar. I think he's going to hold his own for sure on that stage, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think his ceiling is pretty low just because if you're trying to win the Mike Pence white Christian evangelical vote, I think they're going to have a hard time voting for a brown Hindu boy. I just think that's my opinion. By the way,
you're not alone there. A lot of people are with you there.
By the way, I would vote for that guy in an instant.
Yeah.
So this is not a self-reflection. By the way, if he would never do it, but if he did run as a Democrat, he would be Obama, straight up.
1,000%.
He's that
Talks
good,
like him.
but with business acumen. So maybe.
So you're thinking Republicans will not embrace him?
I don't think the base of the Republican Party will. Certainly MAGA. I think DeSantis is going to do his thing, straight up. I think DeSantis has been prepared for this. I think he's ready for this. I think he's going to shine. And he doesn't necessarily have Trump coming after him there. So we all forget about DeSantis, that he was neck and neck with Trump about 6 months ago. And I think he's going to do his thing. And then I'll give you my sleeper. North Dakota governor, his name is Doug Burgum. And he runs on 3 things. He talks about American independence. He talks about getting out of debt. And he just talks about American greatness. And he just kind of stays in his lane. He does his thing. He's a great communicator, so I think he's a sleeper guy. I think that Tim Scott has got no chance. I think Mike Pence has got no chance. I think Chris Christie's got no chance. I think that Nikki Haley's vying for a potential VP role. And, they're just going to clear the field. And at the end of the day, it's going to be Trump, DeSantis, Vivek, and whatever cast of characters.
Isn't that basically it, Pat? Isn't this basically the vice president?
Well, no.
competition?
Here's the thing you have to realize, guys. I mean, the thing about it, from my experience, last 20 years, I've not been in politics for last however many years. It's been 20 years.
Yeah.
How many times do you see a Walker? Oh, he's going to do this, and then boom, he fizzle. Oh, Marco
Walker,
Rubio,
yeah.
and then boom. So, hey, Jeb Bush, and then boom. Oh, so you don't know. I mean, at this point, John Kerry should have been president. Romney should have been president. God knows how many people should have been president.
Colin Powell.
This thing is very hard. And don't forget Herman Cain, 999. He went up to 18%. Newt Gingrich went to 21%. Ross Perot went to 19%. So there's a lot of stuff that could happen. And a couple of these guys behind closed doors have been preparing the most. The one that's been having the biggest sparring match of going out there doing his thing is Vivek. You got to give that guy credit. Go ahead, Tom.
So I look at a couple things here. I think that Chris Christie is going to go on that stage and surprise a lot of people. He's bold. He's brash. He can be very. He looks like the guy you want in your corner when the chips are down, you know. And so I think there'll be a little bit of perception on that. So I think he's going to do well. I think Pence completely out the door. Nothing will change there. I think Scott and Nikki Haley will be tied with, wow, what an interesting, smart person. I think America will get introduced to Francis Suarez. There'll be some people say, wow, I can see how Miami's turned around. That guy seemed kind of smart. But I don't think it'll come up above radar. I think this is Vivek and DeSantis. That's what I think is at the top of this thing.
So, Tom, when you say
because DeSantis is going to be over-prepared, and he is going to take shots from everybody, and we're going to find out if he's a counterpuncher. Chris Christie's a counterpuncher. If Chris Christie took the kind of shots that everybody's going to throw at DeSantis, I think it would surprise. Because I think Chris Christie can fight back in that kind of a debate.
Here's a question for you. Which of them you think is going to be targeting each other at the stage? Which of them you think is going to go after Trump? Which of them you think is going to go after Biden?
Vivek's not going to go after Trump. Vivek's going to go after DeSantis, and Vivek will blunt, I think, Christie and Scott. That, I think, is his playbook. Christie's going to go after Trump, and then he's going to try to blunt DeSantis. And Vivek.
What do you think DeSantis is going to do?
I think DeSantis is going to be over-prepared, try to get his talking point.
No, I got that, Tom. You think DeSantis is going to go after Trump, Biden, or Vivek?
DeSantis should just go after – DeSantis is going to go after Biden, but he's also going to go after Vivek and try to blunt him because he's got momentum.
And no Trump? You don't think DeSantis is going to talk about Trump?
I don't think DeSantis needs to talk about Trump. I think that's what his people think. He's not on the stage. Don't need to talk about him. Only to defeat the people that are there.
I think DeSantis is 100% going to go after Trump after this listless vessel. You know, MAGA. You saw the stat that most percentage. I'll let you, Pat, give the numbers that now revere Trump more than Jesus. Shout out to you guys out there that think that way. So it's interesting. I think DeSantis is going to go straight towards MAGA. He's going to need MAGA, but he's going to try to, pierce that situation. But I think that Christie should try to punch. I'm sorry, DeSantis should try to punch up, but not punch down. Vivek is an oncomer, but I don't think he has the upside that DeSantis has. So, and the rest of them are sort of irrelevant.
But here's a question. I don't want to counter what you said, but I want to process something because we've all kind of said it. How does DeSantis go after Trump but also win the MAGA voter?
Yeah, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think he's going to go after him hard. I think he's got to go win the MAGA.
It's too late. He's in too deep. Listen, when you come out and like this Dylan Dennis guy, which we'll get into with the Logan Paul and Jake Paul. When you put one pic, what's his name?
Dylan Dennis.
Dylan Dennis,
yeah. What nationality is he, by the way?
Latino?
Is he? Okay. So when you post a picture of a guy once, you can't delete it. You're in. He's American. Okay. Then you go second, third, fourth. So DeSantis has already taken shots at Trump. It's not, you can't go back now and play, well, I changed my mind. I actually have a lot of respect and admiration for him. I don't know if you guys saw what Trump posted yesterday on his Instagram account and his Truth Social account. He posted a video of all the times DeSantis spoke highly about Trump. Did you see that?
Brilliant.
Everything that DeSantis said that was good about Trump, he put it up there and he says, hi, I'm Donald Trump and I endorse this message, right?
Yeah.
So he's playing that game, which is great. But I want to read this, what do you call it? Trump's campaign bills DeSantis' listless vessels remark as deplorables moment, similar to what Hillary Clinton had. But here's, Rob, I think it may even be better if you just play the clip than me reading all this stuff. The Trump campaign criticized Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis' comparison of Republican supporting Trump to listless vessels. If you have it, just play it. Liking it to Hillary Clinton's deplorables comment, DeSantis made the comment in an interview with the Florida Standard saying, if we all are listless vessels that are just supposed to follow whatever happened to come down the pile on Truth Social every morning, that's not going to be a durable movement. Jason Miller, a Trump advisor, drew parallels, stating on X, looks like Ron DeSanctimonious just had his basket of deplorables moment. Not good. Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung said DeSantis is now running the same failed playbook as Hillary Clinton. Go ahead and play it.
We have a strand in our party that views supporting Trump as whether you are a rhino or not. And so you could be the most conservative person since sliced bread. Unless you're kissing his rear end, they will somehow call you a rhino. So it's been totally detached from principle and what you actually believe and results, and it's more about, you know, just what faction you happen to do. So there'll be people who are huge Trump supporters, like in Congress, who have like incredibly liberal left-wing records that's really just atrocious, and yet they're viewed as by some of these folks as like really, really good. Then you have other people, you know, like a Congressman Chip Roy, who's endorsed me, Congressman Thomas Massey. These guys have records of principle fighting the swamp that are second to none, and yet they will be attacked by some of these people and called rhinos. So it's just been totally detached from any type of substance, and ultimately a movement can't be about the personality of one individual. The movement has got to be about what are you trying to achieve on behalf of the American people, and that's got to be based in principle. Because if you're not rooted in principle, if all we are is listless vessels that's just supposed to follow, you know, whatever happens to come down the pike on Truth Social every morning, that's not going to be a durable movement.
Adam.
Well, if you look at the definition of listless, do you know what listless means?
Nobody's behind the wheel?
No, it actually means lacking energy or enthusiasm, or having ready, wait for it, Pat, lethargy. Okay?
Lethargy.
So, being lethargic. So if there's one thing you'll say about the MAGA crowd, they are not listless. They are fired up. They love their Trump. That's their guy. It's, you know, some may say that it's a cult of personality, but they are anything but energetic. That's for sure. And a lot of them are pissed off. They're scorned, and they have every right to be. At the same time, I also do agree with what DeSantis is saying, is that even if Trump wins 4 years later, if you're just in this tribal cult of personalities, who's your guy? You know, 4 years ago, you loved Mike Pence. Now you hate him. 2 years ago, you loved Ron DeSanctimonious. Now you hate him. So if everything with MAGA is just with Trump, what's next? So I do think that Ron DeSantis sort of screwed up in this. This was his deplorables moment. But if it is all just based on Trump, if it's all just based on Trump's personality, what's the next 4 years look like once Trump is out? So is it Don Jr.? Is it Ivanka? Who knows? So
but by the way, you're right in the area of there are those that don't see him being able to do anything right. For example, this article comes out, CBS News poll shows Trump voters trust Trump more than family and religious leaders. Indictments have become a rallying factor. CBS poll reveals, Rob, if you can pull this up, despite facing legal challenges, former President Donald Trump maintains a strong lead in every poll. Voters have rallied around Trump, even amid multiple indictments, with 38% perceiving the indictment as politically motivated against him. Trump supporters have expanded, with 62% of likely Republican primary voters favoring him, up from 61% in June, while Governor DeSantis stands at 16%. Notably, 71% of Trump supporters trust him more than family, friends, or religious leaders, believing that he tells them generally the truth. Trump supporters emphasizing their reasons for backing him, a belief that things are better under his administration, his advocacy for people like them, 95%, and their familiarity with him. So there is a community there, but I'm going to give you purely from the strategy standpoint. We moved here because of Governor DeSantis, okay? My family is here because of Governor Ron DeSantis. I moved, this is the only state where we moved, I'm going to keep saying this, where I moved my wife, my kids, my dad, and my sister. I never moved my family to Texas. I could have done it in a heartbeat. I never moved my family to Texas. And when Paulette would say, I would move here. I don't know if I'm going to be here long term. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't move here. I was just straight up. I'm not one that says, hey, move, let's do this. And then I changed my mind. And then now you're screwed with all the money you spend. Now let's go to the next place because I'm going to do what's best for me. Don't move here. I may not be here long term, but I'm going to move. And Florida is, no, I'm here. Credit goes to him. So sometimes, for example, sometimes you have a player you like a lot, and you want to see this player make the decisions you want him to make that maybe you would have made, okay? And it's kind of unfair to the player, but also that's the relationship of a fan, supporter, and a player. For example, so I like, I really want to see what Zion Williamson's going to do. to the point where I invested into his most expensive card. I own it. I have it. It's a beautiful card. I like it. Do I like the way Zion lives his life? Absolutely not. Would I like to see him change the way he lives his life? 100%. Am I disappointed that this guy has played less games in his first, 3.5 years? Some data showed less than Greg Odom?
Greg Oden. Number one pick, Ohio State.
Yeah. What are you doing? And you're going out there getting porn stars pregnant? Like, who? What? You're not listening to him? So, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to. Even though I'm in $500,000. Yeah. Okay? Even though I'm like, I'm in this guy. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I don't like the way you're doing certain things. So there is a logic to saying, dude, I wish if this guy would have made better decisions, he could be an MVP candidate, averaging 30. He's a 30-10-6 guy. You don't find a lot of 30-10-6 guys. He's a better version of the guy from Blake Griffin. He can be a better Blake Griffin. He can be like a Barkley / 43-inch vertical leap with a massive body that he has. But I'm not happy with the way he handled himself. Okay, I got 4 kids. I want to see my kids do well. They make bad decisions. I don't support their decisions. I'm not sitting there saying I like the decision you made. The part that is uncomfortable with me and DeSantis is, again, logically, on every single golf score, he leads the way. If I have to pay any of these candidates to have somebody lead with the right policies who can go deep on knowledge, DeSantis is my #1 guy. Way ahead of Trump. Way ahead of what do you call it? Vivek. Way ahead of Pence. Way ahead of any of these guys. But I'll give you the other part. If I have to, based on working with people in sales the last 23 years, when I sit down with somebody who's pompous, you know how you feel pompous energy very quickly? You feel the energy of somebody that just thinks they're better than you. They're smarter than you. And by the way, most of the time, they may be. So it's not like they're not. There may be. Tom is. Yesterday, I said this story. I think I was saying it to Peter or somebody upstairs in a meeting. I said, listen, when it comes on to raising capital, if somebody calls me and says, hey, Pat, I want to put a pitch deck together and I want to raise money, who should I hire with David Consulting? Not me. Go talk to Tom. Tom's the best guy to learn how to write a pitch deck. Tom's done a couple $2 billion of raising money, capital exits. Tom's the guy to talk to. I'm not the guy you should talk to when it comes down to the details of lawyers. Tom, one time, he did something that was so interesting. We're on a call with lawyers. He says, Pat, you need to know this. If they use these 3 words on a call with you, they're asking for this. Just be ready. We do a call. They use one of those 3 words. We get off the call, just letting you know this call is coming up. They're going to try to do X, Y, Z, reprice, be ready for the Zoom. I'm in Monaco. We get on the Zoom. 20 plus people are on the call, and it goes in that direction. What do I say on the call? Guys, just so you know, I'm not interested. If we move any of the stuff that's here, I'm out. Just letting you guys know, I'm not interested. Okay. Great, fair enough. We're going to stay where we're at. No problem. We got off the phone. Everybody called me saying, I don't know if I would have ever done what you did because you just cost yourself. Maybe you risk $50 to $100 million. I don't know if I would have done it that way. I don't know if you remember that call with Greg, Mars, a bunch of people we had to call together with. But that's Tom. Tom's specialty is that. If you want to raise capital, go talk to Tom. However, then there is the ability to sell the dream, sell the cause, sell the audience. You know when, for example, when you have a friend, like I've gone through this in different phases of my life, and it's kind of annoying when you go through because you hope this doesn't happen. There comes a time in your life where you're competing, where you're at the same level as a couple of your peers, coworkers. And let's just say it's comedy. Let's just say it's insurance. Let's just say it's party life. Let's just say it's marriage. Let's just say it's parents or business or whatever. And this is the one area where you have to be very careful on what happens here. And all of a sudden, one of the comedians gets a job on a movie. Yeah. Instead of celebrating for your friend, you secretly become envious. Let me tell you, it will not be a secret for too long. It will be felt. Let's say we're doing different podcast talents here. We made 7 offers last week to different talents. We'll see which one's going to end up working out. But we made 7 offers last week to talent. 1 came on board. 1's going to come in the next week or 2. He's starting. But we got another 7 that we made offers for. Let's say we start doing this. Vinny, what if all of a sudden you get to 6 million subscribers and you're blown up? If Adam is secretly envious, that's a problematic issue. Let's just say Adam all of a sudden takes off and he goes to 6 million. That's not Adam's DNA, but let's just say Adam goes to 6 million subscribers and his show's popping. And you're like, I don't like the fact. Let's just say Tom beats both of you guys. Yeah. And BizDoc just takes off. Vice versa. in life, certain people are going to have levels of success above others that you eventually have to say, like I had a friend of mine, Steve of Etienne. Dude, I wanted so bad to be a good basketball player. I freaking sucked. But you know what it was? Dude, I loved watching Steve play.
Yeah.
I would ask my dad that I would see him once a month. I would say, Dad, even though we only have one day to spend time together, can come down to Glendale. You have to watch this guy play. He's the Armenian Michael Jordan.
Wow.
We would sit there and watch Steve play. It was freaking awesome. When I watch his highlight videos, I get the chills all over my body. When I heard Armand, my friend, went to Cal State Long Beach, got a degree in mathematics, became a professor at freaking Pasadena Community College, two guys that you would have never thought doing what they're doing, and then now he's running the operations of the #1 Persian restaurant in the world. Him and his family, what he's done with Rafi's play, I freaking love celebrating their successes. It's a great feeling. The other day, these two Armenian guys came to family. You know, the basketball player who I said, I hope you're able to do a few different things to get into the NBA. He played for the Clippers, hit the shots. You know who I'm talking about. We went and had lunch with these guys. Man, I love seeing these guys play. But guess what? Some people are better than you. So, where is the challenge here? Man, some of these guys that are trashing Trump wish they can be loved and enamored the way he is by his following. And they're so envious because they cannot replicate that. So when you say, you know, when it comes on to voting, it cannot be around the personality of the individual. No, it is. You have to sell the dream. It is around your personality. You can try to dodge that all you want. To run the country, it is. Forget about Biden. Biden's an anomaly on how he became a president. The only reason Biden's the president is he was 4th place in Iowa caucus or New Hampshire, one of those. Well, he was 4th place, he was in New Hampshire. Not first. The president was 4th in New Hampshire. How the hell are you 4th? And on last-minute calls made behind closed doors on Tuesday, Pete drops, Amy drops, Elizabeth Warren drops, and Bernie, who was ahead, like he was doing good in many. These guys dropped to get behind Biden. Who made that phone call? That's not capitalism. That's not free market. That's somebody can control. So Biden's not a president because he is got the qualities of being a president. Biden's the president because the people behind him said, pick that guy. He's the president. We'll control him for 4 years. It is what it is. Take him out. Obama sold the dream. Clinton sold the dream. Bush was able to sell the dream, and Al Gore sold the nightmare. Go to Bush Sr. could no longer sell the dream. He was so much about, I'm a better policy guy. I'm a director of CIA. I'm a this. Guess what? America said, I don't relate to you. Ronald Reagan sold the dream. Jimmy Carter sold the nightmare. John F. Kennedy sold the dream. If you can't sell the dream, you are not going to get the job of the #1 guy unless if behind closed doors somebody gets indicted and gets arrested. It's not going to happen. So my challenge to the DeSantis camp, if anybody from their camp is watching this, few basic tips if I'm talking to Ron. Look at the camera and talk to the American people and sell me the dream. Sell me what I'm concerned about. Earlier, I challenged Adam a little bit when he's talking to only the single crowd. Talk to me if I'm married with kids. Talk to me about my concerns when I'm praying with my kids last night. Talk to me about my stresses with my wife and I when we're arguing at night about we got to take our kids out of public school because we're uncomfortable with the stuff that's happening in different schools. Talk to me for the worries that we have. What's going to happen with these interest rates, 7%? I can't afford to buy a house. Car prices are $20,000. Talk to me. Talk to me. Sell me the dream why the future looks bright, why America's the greatest country in the world, why we cannot lose to these other guys. China and all these, no matter what they think they're doing, we are the country that has led the way for the world. Sell me the dream. Sell me the dream. Talk to me, not in a scripted fashion. Just damn it, talk to me. Set aside the card. Set aside the teleprompter. Speak from your heart. Talk about the fact when you were a kid and growing up and how you had to overcome certain challenges and eventually became who you became today. The American people want to be sold a dream. So a lot of these guys that are going out there talking, the reason why Vivek is creating so much momentum is because he's selling a dream. Everybody else is bitching at each other. Chris Christie's not going to be the president. Why? Because he's trying to beat you. He's trying to beat you. Vivek is selling the dream. Mike Pence wants a job or he wants to seek revenge. You ain't going to be a president seeking revenge. You're just a freaking pawn on a chess table. Nobody likes you from the other side. They're just using you and they're winning. Tim Scott potentially could have a job on the administration, but maybe he's kind of shown up to say, I want to win the championship in 2028. I want to be a future president. Then show up, Tim. Show up. Sell us the dream. But I think DeSantis got to come up and say, hey, I'm your guy. Here's who I am. This is your opportunity, Ron, because if Trump was there, 30% of the minutes would be spent with Trump. Show up. Thank God Trump is not there for DeSantis, because I think this is his only chance to steal the show. If he doesn't, it's over, because the next debate, Trump's going to show up, and everyone's going to target Trump, because whether it's going to be CNN, MSNBC, or Fox, the board is going to say, you better ask the most questions from Trump, because that's what gets us the eyeballs. People coming to watch a debate for Trump. They're not coming to watch it for everybody else. So guess what? You just lost 22 minutes. Mm-hmm. You just lost an additional 11 minutes. Use your minutes wisely. Use your minutes wisely. Talk to me. Sell the dream. I believe. I'm telling you this with this debate that's coming up tomorrow in Milwaukee. I believe this is the chance to make a comeback, and the comeback show has to be tomorrow. If you're able to talk to my heart more instead of just my brain, Ron, you talk to people's brain a lot. Most people don't make decisions with their brains. Talk to my heart. Speak to my heart. Speak to me with what I'm going through. If you can tug at my heart and get me to say, freaking A, man. You know what? He ain't perfect. He ain't this, he ain't that. But I got to tell you, I like that. I relate to him. I like him. Then he's going to have a plus minus tomorrow, following day, and then go and do the 50 podcasts that you haven't done. You know how many podcasts Vivek has done already? 60 plus. 60 plus he's done. You know how many podcasts some of these other guys have done? I don't know how many podcasts they've done. This guy's done 60 plus, and he keeps climbing, and he's selling the dream. So, we're going to learn a lot tomorrow, and I hope some of these guys show up. I would love to see Ron make a massive vertical leap tomorrow, but I don't know who's in his ear, and I don't know what they're telling him. I think he needs to spend a couple hours today in the bathroom away from everybody, just talking to himself, literally talking to himself, reflecting, writing notes. Why are you doing this, Ron? Go back to that instead of, I have to prove him, and I have to. No. Today, it's you and one other person. You know who the other person is, Ron? The American people. It's you and them, one-on-one. If you win there, you're going to have a spike, and that 46-point lead that Trump has maybe goes down to 31 or 32 or 33, and then you go on 50, 60, 80, 100 different podcasts in the next 3 months. The next 6 months, not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work. And then people are going to say, this guy's a human being. I relate to him. I can do him. Because if you don't, Trump's going to be the candidate, and it's going to be over.
I agree. I think staying up, amazing. You put it perfectly. Like that's what I think he's missing, Pat, is a person like you sitting down with him this entire time and telling him, the hell with the script, look at the American people. You could look in the camera and, like you said, Pat, look into people's hearts. Think about his story, his childhood, the military, working with the Navy SEALs, his wife having cancer, beating it. There's the story. What he did with COVID. Yeah, the hell with everybody else. Just talking to the person, I think, is like, mind you, Pat, if he had you this entire time, it'd be a whole, it'd be neck and neck.
But he has it. He has it. Like,
he has the fire.
You know, I've seen this guy freaking fight, and I love it. Show up. Look, you know, there are those that are 100% Trump. Okay, there are those that are 100% DeSantis. There are those that are 100% anti-Republican. So it doesn't matter if it's Biden or anybody. They're just anti-Republican. I'm not talking to you. There are those that are kind of like, look, man, I honestly don't want to vote for Biden. I'd like to vote for somebody else. Can Republicans just give me another option outside of Trump? Okay, those guys that are like, I'm willing to vote for somebody else, just not Trump, because I don't think, okay. There are those that want RFK, but they don't believe RFK is going to be there at the end. But the point here is, this guy's shown fight. He's got it. He just sometimes sounds like he talks to people. He talks at people. Stop talking at people, man. Talk to me. Stop preaching at me. Just talk to me. Speak to me. Pause. Tell me a story. Connect with me. That's all I want from you. Do that. You're smart. You're brilliant. Your background is sick. But that's the one area he needs to address. He addresses it's going to be good. I want to hit one more story before we wrap up. Unless if you guys got any 15-second comment.
Look, you crushed that thing. I think Ron DeSantis needs to watch that clip of PBD right now.
Listen, maybe
while he's in the bathroom by himself.
Maybe in 4 years, but David Consulting will offer campaign consulting.
Hey,
I don't know. Stay tuned.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.